You might be wondering, how does CoinAiLyzer make sure that the grades are correct? And the answer is we have over 1.4 million coins, all of them graded, many of them with certs. And we analyze what does CoinAiLyzer say versus what does the cert say, what does the dealer say, and we do this constantly. Back here, I have some very rigorous analysis going on, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at Morgan's MS-64, MS-65. Here's Morgan MS-64 by cert company. So each cert company, of course, has called this an MS-64. CoinAiLyzer doesn't just say 64, it gives you a grade to the hundredths. So the average PCGS coin we say is a 64.02, NGC is 64.01, which is basically identical. In fact, one market thing is that all the cert companies are pretty close in how they grade coins, which I find refreshing. This SD is standard deviation. What that says is for any coin that you were to pull out, like a random coin you were to pull out, how does that compare to the average coin? And a standard deviation of 0.81 says something on the order of 21% of coins, if you randomly pull them out, will be one Sheldon point either above or below MS-64. So 1 in 5 coins is going to be at least a Sheldon point off. Still, that's pretty good, I think. And you'll see that the cert companies are very consistent. CoinAiLyzer actually has a good bit smaller standard deviation, which means we believe that we grade even closer than the cert companies. However, we have a big tail. So we're not normally distributed. We have everything's good. And then there's a big jump. So occasionally the coins are very far off. And we know that that has a lot to do with how photographs are done, and especially denoising, which I've talked about in other videos, which is something modern cameras do to clean up photographs, which erases the detail that we need. So this analysis right here is we're working to see if there aren't ways that we can overcome that denoising, or at least make sure to tell people, here's exactly what you need to do to stop that from happening. Now here's a look at MS-65 Morgans. You'll see that on average, the CoinAiLyzer score is about 0.3, 3.5 points below MS-65, which means that the grading companies are rating them a little bit higher than we're rating them. By the way, this N is how many of those coins we have. So we have only 8 examples from CACG. So I would take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. Still, it's amazing with only 8 examples, their mean score is pretty close to the rest. So what I would take away from this is that the cert companies are actually pretty close together as far as what they consider an MS-64 or an MS-65. If you'd like more in-depth detail, please take a look at my research paper. I've done a really deep dive on Morgans and certs and variability. I think you'll find it super interesting.